One leg back and lifting and lowering. Soft knee. You know you're in the right position if you can balance. Foot. You can point or flex the foot. I want you to make sure that you're nice and up and tall. Get that neutral spine, arching, pushing, neutral spine. Chin is tucked. Up one knee. Welcome to Fitness to Function. I'm Dianne Laird, your certified personal trainer and mat Pilates instructor, and thank you for joining me today for an entry-level at-home workout. This workout is great for any older individual or if you're just getting started back into exercise. I am wearing gripper socks today. These are socks that have grips on the bottom of them. If you like to use gripper socks, they're good because you can use the muscles in your feet. However, make sure they're not a regular sock because I do not want any slipping going on, but you can wear your tennis shoes if you feel more comfortable in your tennis shoes. This is an at-home workout, so the equipment we're using today is actually cans of vegetables or cans of fruits or beans, whatever you have in the household, and also a chair. I'm using a chair for some seated exercises and also using the back of the chair for balance. Let's go ahead and get started with a little bit of a warm-up, just coming side to side, going into a rotation, rotating side to side. I'm staying centered here and taking your hips with me, feeling my belly engage and squeezing your rear end and reaching down. Just a little bit of a warm-up today. Squeezing those muscles really helps activate those muscles. Isometric holds, gets that blood circulating, and helps us warm up more quickly. Reaching out center. Few here, pulling that shoulder down, activating those shoulders, and then let's reach a little higher. Again, still rotating these hips with you. Always having to rotate those hips with you, and I am staying centered over the body, not reaching way up. There you go. Now how about just up and down, right here. Come out a little bit. If you have a hard time lifting the shoulders, you can just come up, right here. Whatever works for you. A couple more up, lifting, gentle, not swinging too much. All right, and now going into a row, pulling those elbows back and kicking the rear end. Just get everything fired up here a little bit. Sides of the body, a little bit of rotation. This is a row, so it's getting the back of the body warmed up. Again, still that belly has to be engaged here, and kicking that rear end gets the back of those legs, muscles firing. 3 more, 3 and 2. And 1. All right, let's get started with that first exercise. I want you to go ahead and grab your chair. It's a seated leg lift. You can start in a seated position. I want your heels underneath the knees. We're going to be doing a leg lift and an extension. If you're back a little bit further on the chair or want to lean back, that's a little bit lesser intensity. But I still want you upright, or you can come a little bit forward on the chair. Another level is to actually stand up and sit down. If you're doing that, your arms come out. You can use momentum to get up if you need to. Arms come out to offset the weight going back into the chair. So it'd be stand up and sit down. And as you increase the intensity, you can actually just kind of tap, up. But we're going to start seated today. I just wanted to show you that you do have options there. All right, 45 seconds on and 15 seconds in recovery. I will get you started with lifting the leg, extending it out, bringing it back in and lower. Lift, extend, in and lower. I'm flexing that foot. You can point or flex the foot. I want you to make sure that you're nice and up and tall. If you have a problem being nice and up and tall, it's okay to lean back a little bit, but I want you trying not to hunch forward. Make sure that that chest is open. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. Remembering to breathe. Extend. Lift, extend. Almost there with that 45 seconds. And there we go. Other leg. Take your round to the other side. There we go. Heels underneath the knees. Nice and up tall. If you actually need to hang on, you can hang on for a little assistance here. Lift, extend, bend, lower. Lift, extend. Lift, extend. Nice and up tall. Make sure that chin is tucked just a little bit. You should also be feeling this in your lower abdomen. Flexing or pointing, either way. It's always nice to have a little resistance through that foot. And here we go. Good job. Keep going here. You can take your time. You can speed it up. You can slow it down. Whatever works for you. And there you go. All right, now go into a row, which is using the back. So important to use our back. We have to do specific exercises to use the back. I want you to grab one can. And you've got the back of the chair for balance. You're going to be up nice and tall, shoulders down, locked down, belly's engaged. Right at the crease above your thigh, I'm going to have you hinge and a slight bend in the knee. You see how straight my back continues to be nice and straight as we hinge. And here we go. Nice and straight. Hinging. The weight, the can is with gravity and driving that elbow back. Driving it back. Feeling that belly engage here and driving that elbow back. My weight is in my heels. Many times I pull my toes up just to make sure my weight stays in my heels. Hang on to that chair if you need to. And this is driving the elbow back, and I needed squeezing a little bit. See if you can put your mind to that muscle there, to your back muscle, and see if you can feel that back muscle engage. Taking a little squeeze right here, not moving at the elbow, opening and closing, it's just driving that elbow back and feeling that back engage. So we have to change sides and get that hinge on, nice and tall, right at the crease, and hinging over, belly's engaged, nice straight back. Make sure your head and neck are back in line with the rest of your back, and rowing back. Elbow pulling back. Feeling that back engaged. See if you can put that mind to the back. I keep talking about the mind to the muscle. That's how you get those muscles to work even harder. If you're doing the work, you might as well make them work a little harder. You can use an isometric hold back here. You can increase the weight. If you do increase the weight, if it goes into your neck or into your shoulder or even into your front upper arm, then the weight's too heavy and you need to lower the weight. But right now, even with this can, I can feel my back engage. It's all about just contracting that muscle. Okay, now we're going to work the sides of the thighs, hip abduction, taking that thigh away from the body. Standing next to the chair, shoulders down, gazes out or a little bit of a focal point. Almost able to balance on this leg and lifting out and in. Taking the leg away from the body and back, away from the body. Keeping that leg in line with the body. See that? Right in line with the body. Want to make sure that you're not getting too much of a range of motion or swinging the leg up. It is just nice in a small range of motion. Leaning over, you lose the work. I'm trying to get the work out on this side of the body here. Using that leg. Soft knee on this side. Nice soft knee. You can balance a little bit if you want. Or hanging on. That's how you know you're in the right position, is if you can balance, always. You know you're in the exact where you need to be if you can balance on that foot. All right, here we go. Soft knee, weight in that heel. Straighten the leg out and coming away from the body. Notice I'm not leaning side to side. Even if you can't hold your leg out, that's fine. You can drop it back down. It's okay. You're still working that muscle. This is okay. What I don't want to see is rocking side to side. So just stay on that one leg. If you can't go the whole entire 45 seconds, stop for a minute and shake it out. And then continue on. Yeah. Good work. Balance, balance. My foot, my toes, everything's working. You can feel those toes work inside of your shoes as well. Sure can. Working that ankle, all those little muscles adhering to the bones and strengthening while you're wobbling a little bit. It's not a bad thing to wobble. It makes all those muscles have to work a little bit. Okay, work to the sides of the legs. Now we're going to work the glutes, the rear end. Standing just behind the chair. I got to get a little bit of a hinge here so I can hang on to the chair if I need to. Not hanging on for dear life. Taking one leg back and lifting and lowering. Soft knee. You know you're in the right position if you can balance. Always try to balance, just even if it's for a second, because then you know you're in the right position. You may need to pull your chair in, lift. And if you have to lift and lower or drop it because you don't quite have the strength there, that's fine. Lift and lower. Lift. Nice. Again, I'm keeping my gaze out, not dropping down, looking at that chair. Our head is heavy and it always wants to drop forward, keeping those shoulders down. You can always feel this in that standing hips, so don't be worried, it's okay. All right, other side. Getting nice and close to that chair, a little bit of a hinge for me. Taking that opposite leg out. You can point or flex this foot. I think I'll go with the point. And standing on that opposite leg and lifting. There it is. Soft knee. Soft knee. I can kind of feel my knee pointing out a little bit instead of in. Tap up, tap up. You can go more quickly if you need to. Really working the rear end, and also you can feel your belly engaged, protecting the low back. Lifting and lowering. There we go. Trying to get a little bit of balance, working those toes. The beauty of the gripper sock. And work those feet a little bit. If you're not used to being barefoot, then you may just want to use the gripper socks for a little while and then put your shoes on. Here we go, almost there. And there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and work the core a little bit. Seated in your chair. Once again, the heels underneath the knees. You can hang on to the chair for a little extra support. Now I want you to tap your shoulder blades back onto that chair and lift forward. Tucking that chin just a bit, lift forward just a little bit. Tap up, tap up, tap up. You may want to crunch here and do a crunch. No, you're going to open up that chest. Hold that belly in and keep that back from arching. If you need to scoot back a little bit, feel free to scoot back. Tap up, tap up. You can almost go all the way back. You can have assistance right here. Hang on, tap up, or come all the way out. Tap, and tap. Really feeling that work through there. All right, so went through that first set. You can do this set again, but since this is an entry-level workout, I'm only going to do each set of these exercises one time. But it's great. As you progress, you can do these sets of exercises 2 times. Repeat this set again, and then do the second set of exercises and repeat those. But we are going to move on to the second set today for this entry-level workout. All right. We'll get ready for that second set. All right, here we go with your second set of exercises. Go ahead and grab your 1 can, is what we're going to use right now. And I want you to cap either end of that can with each of your hands and grasping that can. You're going to have that can resting right at the top of your chest. I'm not holding my hands way out here, it's right at the top of your chest. I'm going to go into a teeny bit of a squat. Just make sure the rear end comes back like you have a little chair back here. So rear end comes back, and then I'm going to rotate to one side, taking my hips with me and going up overhead. It's a rotation, changing sides with an overhead press. Down, rotation, overhead press, taking those hips with you each time. And here we go. All right, 45 seconds on. Dropping down in that little squat, rotating all the way up, feeling that belly raise. If you have a hard time going overhead, you can come up into an uppercut. If you can't make it into an uppercut, you can just keep the can right at your chest and go into your rotation. And squeezing the rear end, squeezing the rear end. There you go. Squeezing every time, or rotating up and rotating and overhead and reach overhead and reach overhead. So good for us to get those arms overhead. Great for reaching into the cabinet. Nice work there. Very good. Now I want you to grab your other can. We're going to go into a little bit of that hinge. Here we go, nice and up tall, hinging. I want you just to push back, straight arms, just pushing back with those hands. I am in a little bit of a hinge here, pushing back with those arms and seeing if you can feel that back engaged, just a little bit. Back engaging, pushing back, kind of feeling the engaging through the sides here. Yeah, your belly is bracing, pushing back. You can put your palms toward the ceiling if you want. That may change it a little bit. It does change it a little bit. Push it back. There it is. Not too far back. Purposeful movement here. Belly's engaged. Almost done. And here we go. Next, we're going to go into a bicep curl. Getting yourself nice and grounded into the ground with that weight in your heels and those soft knees. You're going to bring these cans up. Let's keep the palms facing each other. And bicep curl. Here we go. Working the front of the arm. You can get a little more weight if you need to, or these cans are just fine. You can also take the palms up if you want to. But what I want to watch for is those arms not coming all the way down in a locked position. They come almost all the way down and then come back up. If the weight's not enough for you, you can actually squeeze a little bit up at the top. Again, I've still got those soft knees and my weight in the heels. My toes just come up automatically. Nice, using those feet. Really feeling the biceps, even with a can of vegetables. You can feel these. Almost done here. There it is. Now we're going to go in and work the other side of the arm, the back. So the arms, the triceps. We do need a hinge here. So let's get that hinge. These elbows come up high and they stay high. And you're going to kick back those cans, kicking back those arms, and that's where you get that tricep extension, arm extension, elbow extension. Extending back. If you want to hold them second, you can actually use an isometric on the back of the arms, keeping those elbows high. They always want to creep down, so make sure you keep them up nice and high, not going with a lot of weight here. If you have too much weight, you will start feeling this in your shoulder and in your neck. So right now, just keep it light. Let's just start getting all these muscles activated. Just starting a muscle activation, your entry-level workout. You are on your way to getting stronger. There we go. Now, go ahead and take one can. I'm going to be seated here, hanging onto that can, and elbows underneath your knees, nice and tall. And you're going to rotate side to side. I don't want you to rotate too far. I don't want you to twist that lower back. I'm actually sitting up nice and tall here. Nice and tall. This is a good way to start. You want to increase the intensity, come a little bit out on the chair, and you can look at it just a little bit. Some modification for you here. Not twisting too far. Coming around, using those obliques, sides of the waistline, help lifting you back across the body, using those obliques. There you go. Almost done here. Just the right amount of weight to start out and working those sides of the waistline. All right, there you go. That completes your set number 2. You can rewind and go right back to the beginning of this set if you want to do it again. And I am going to go down to the mat right now, or the floor, and we've got a few exercises on the floor. We'll do one set. So go ahead and get your mat set up, and we'll get you started. All right, you've got your mat out and you're down on your mat. And let's go ahead and lay on back and get started with a bridge. All right, rolling on back, pulling those heels in, whatever works for you. If you don't have a lot of range of motion in your knees, it's okay to keep your knees out, the ankle out to wherever is comfortable for you. I'm going to go ahead and pull mine in, hands out to about 45 degrees. Now, I want you to lift the rear end up. Sorry, have your hands out here to help you a little bit. Lift the rear end up. What's going to happen typically is you're going to push back onto your neck, so I want you to shift that weight onto your heels. Then we're going to drop the rear end down. Not going to tap the ground, just come almost all the way down and then come back up. And the weight is staying in your heels. I want the weight to stay in your heels, and we'll be working the back of the thighs. All right, ready for our 45 seconds? Here we go. Up, out, rolling up, and drop down, push up through those heels. Push up through those heels, making sure these knees are about hip width apart. That's good, pushing up again. You can see my toes up, making sure my weight is in the heels. You want a little bit more of a challenge. You can take an arm up to the ceiling. You can take the other arm up to the ceiling. Requires a little more balance, a little wobble, going through the torso of the body, which again, being wobbly is good. It makes all the little muscles have to work. Drop down, push up, really pushing up through the rear and pushing up. Okay, dropping down here. Now, keeping those knees bent and your arms out at about 45 degrees. I want you to think about taking the pelvis area and tipping forward and arching your back, and then all the way the opposite and pushing that back into the ground, and then coming right to neutral. There's your power. It's right in between, arching all the way and pushing to the ground. There's just a little arch. That's a good neutral spine. You're going to take one knee up into what I call tabletop. You can stay right here and do a heel tap, or you can bring the other knee up and do alternating heel taps. And let's get started here. Get that neutral spine, arching, pushing, neutral spine, chin is tucked, up one knee, up the other knee, and tapping one heel down, and opposite heel down, down, up, keeping those knees in tabletop. This is activating the very low part of the abdomen area of your core. And remembering your breath, the transverse abdominis, tap up, alternating heel taps. There we go. Remember what I said? You can just do one heel and up, tap one and up, and then you can do the other one. Stop the video and do the other heel. All right, next, both those feet come down. I want those feet together and those knees close. You're going to come up into a bridge and you're going to squeeze those inner thighs and release. And squeeze those inner thighs and release. Staying up tall as you can. I'm going to crawl myself down a little bit here. Squeezing and release. Squeeze and release. I want you to feel the squeeze all the way up from your groin, all the way down to your knee. Squeeze, 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 release. Pushing up. Squeeze, 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 release. We always want to drop down a little bit. Really pushing up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze on that release. Push up again. Squeeze, 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 release. Push up. Squeeze, 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 release. Push up. Squeeze, 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 release. Working those inner thighs. We work the outer. We need to work those inner. Release. Squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Release. And there you go. One more heel tap. Arch your back. Push your back into the mat. Come to neutral spine. One knee up in the tabletop. Nice, and feel that belly engage. Other knee up in tabletop. And heel taps. Alternating heel taps. Here we go. This is our last of this third set. You can get through this. You've got it. You're on your way. Do this workout every other day, or even every 2 days, twice a week. It's just a great way to get started back into exercise and starting to get those muscles contracting and building those muscles back up. They always respond at any age. We know that now in science. Muscles respond at any age. All right, put both those feet down. Let's roll over to the side. Push yourself up. And you did it. You finished your entry-level at-home workout. I look forward to any feedback, and I'll be releasing videos all along, so keep looking on my channel here at Vimeo, and I'll see you at the next workout. Thank you for joining me.